Right, welcome back to another video, and today we are going to be looking at reviewing a bit of a guide walkthrough of Polaris. Now, this is an incredible bot, and it is doing really well at the moment. So we're going to go through it. So Polaris at the moment costs around £1,600, which is a lot of money to spend on a bot. However, I do believe you can get your money back through using this bot, and as well as renting out this bot due to its amazing rental system. So yeah, let's have a look at it. So first things first, you have a dashboard. Now, I'm renting this bot. You can see here, this expires tomorrow. So trying to get the review out pretty quickly, trying to do it all now. Now, the reason why the rental system on Polaris is so amazing is because you can have access to the Discord, which you can't really have in any other bots. So it's done through Discord. You give someone a token, you log in through the dashboard, it connects to your Discord, and you actually get to join the server, which is like so good. I get to see all the guides. The person renting it to me doesn't have to give me anything. It's so much easier, and this is why I love it so much. So I've got this bot to rent. I can look in the Discord, I can talk in chat, I can see the proper guides. It's perfect. I mean, all other bots should be looking towards Polaris for the best rental system, and it's very safe if you're renting out. Another reason why, if you want a bot to rent out, Polaris is a very, very good one. This is the dashboard. You can see name, you've also got the version here, quite a few frequent updates, and you can also see any purchases here. Now, going down modules, you can see the sites. So this currently supports Adidas. It does Adidas old region and new region site. It can also do raffle entries on the Adidas app, which is pretty cool. So it's a bit of a raffle bot built in there for US people. It can also do Yeezy supply. It does really well on Yeezy supply, so that's a huge bonus. On foot sites, you have footlocker EU, old region, and new region. You also have all the foot sites in the US. So Champs, Eastbay, Footlocker. Again, your Finish Line, that's Finish Line, and JD, that's mobile and desktop. Mesh, all the good stuff. You've got Foot Patrol, Size, JD, that's JD UK. And then Dick's Sporting Goods, a US-based site. And now these last three, so Zalando is in beta, so it's a bit of a work in progress. However, I do believe it is working currently. And then Shopify and Supreme aren't working at the moment, just because there isn't enough demand in the bot for them to work. So it does, the sites it does best on are Yeezy Supply and Footlocker Old Region. Or Footlocker Old Region, it does so well. And if you're in the US, it could be a really good idea to, buy this bot and then rent out to people in the EU just to make a little bit of extra money. Obviously, you're not going to be using the bot then, so why not? And again, for people in the EU, Yeezy Supply release, Foot Sites release, you can rent this bot out. Again, make a little bit of extra cash, help pay back the bot, help make a little bit of money. Polaris is fluctuating in price quite frequently, so this gives you the perfect opportunity to get a good deal when buying it and also get a good deal when selling it and sell it for a decent profit. So there's definitely the potential for some bot flipping with this bot, and also renting out, very friendly, very safe. Is it the perfect solution? I definitely think other bots should be looking towards this for a rental system because it is just incredible. Now, going down from these sites here, now I'm going to go into actually how you create tasks because it's very interesting. Now, I just want to say I love this UI. Now, there is also a CLI, but I'll go into that in a sec. But this UI is just beautiful. Again, I love the purple color. But let's just actually go in. So to create a task, you press the Add Tasks button down here, and this is where you can select your retailer. So I'm on foot sites, so you have all the new region and old region foot lockers, and then you have the US foot sites down here. So let's say I was on Footlocker UK. The SKU is 123. You can select random size. Now, size PIDs does work for Footlocker. On payment method, you have literally everything. I'll be running credit card. You can select the profile, and then you can also select amount. So you could do a full size run, or profile, or proxies. That would be if you were using DCs. You can then go, create 100 tasks, do it in 100 blocks. Now, I do recommend scheduling tasks, and I'll talk about that later. But then if you want to use proxies, let's say we're just going to use these, and then select the proxy, it would be like that, and then you add the task just like that. I'm actually going to show you the Adidas because I love this dashboard and how Adidas works, because there's actually a few things here, as you can see at the top. You have tasks, waiting room, and app. Now, this is because this is where you'll create your tasks for Adidas. And if you are running, for example, Adidas splash page, this could be Yeezy Supply, for example. You can see here, you can see how many are in the waiting room, how many have passed, and how many V3 capture tokens you have. And then app, this is like the raffle bot bit of it for entering on the US app. So this is quite cool. I really like this idea of how you can see everything and you can set it up here. The guide is very in-depth because on a lot of these sites, there's very specific setups and things you need to have on and off. And because you have access to the Discord, you can see, I'll have a screenshot where you can actually see everything there, and you can go into these and there's loads of information, which is perfect. And again, when you rent it out, you do get Discord access, which is why it's a great solution and it works brilliantly. Now, moving on from the modules, you can go to profiles. It's pretty easy to create any profile. You type in the name. So let's say we wanted to create one called test. You click test, you can then type in all that information, billing address, payment information. Nice UI. Also, this clock here, if you haven't noticed, just a nice feature. You can disable that in settings. Now, moving on, you have proxies. To create a proxy group, you press add up here. We can call it test1. Create that. To add proxies, press the add proxies button down here. Chuck them in. Simple. So from proxies, you can move on to solvers. Now, this is where your capture solve would be. I'm not too sure what you would use this for, because you can use 2Capture in this, all connected to AYCD. But let's say they got Supreme working in the future. I'm not sure if that's something they're working on. You can set that all up here with a proxy. You can slide into Gmails. Again, pretty standard stuff on bots like this. Now, settings. This is where there are some real cool key features. So going through here, you can enable and disable CLI, and this is the main thing. I've gone through this pretty fast. However, take a minute to appreciate the fact that you can create tasks in the beauty and the comfort of GUI, but you can run them in CLI. That is incredible. I love that feature because it's so important. I mean, just to me, the idea of creating them in such a, easy environment with the peered profiles, no CSVs, no runs editor, and then to run, I mean, we're talking, you're mainly running splash releases, right? We're talking Yeezy, Supply, and Footlocker. So we're, over 1,000 tasks. And to be able to run them in CLI makes it so much easier. And that is one thing I absolutely love here. You can see we have the checkout sound. So if I press play, that's what the checkout sound sounds like. So to enable CLI, actually, I'm going to go into a bit more detail on this. You tick it and press open CLI window. So now this, here you go, welcome to Polaris CLI. The options, start tasks, stop tasks, exit, and help. So on the help page, it just shows this. Not sure why I'd want to show that again. But now start tasks, this is where you would select the module. Now, let's say we selected foot sites. I do have like 1,600 tasks in there, so I'm not going to start it. It doesn't always start, and it's just a common error you'll see. Now, if this does happen, there is a simple solution. Just go into your modules, go into foot sites, and then press start all tasks here. Now, this is why I said earlier that I do recommend you actually schedule your tasks, because it does make it much, much easier. And as you can see here, I scheduled them this morning for the drop. They start 45 seconds before they drop, and it makes it much easier, because if this doesn't start tasks in time and you have to click here, it does get very laggy. So it's something you want to watch out for. So I highly recommend scheduling tasks. I don't do this in any other bot, but I do recommend doing it in Polaris. Now, another thing I do love about this bot, and is one of the main features I really should have said at the start, was the minimal data usage. I mean, if you are botting Footlocker UK and you've previously been using a bot like Ganesh, this will blow your mind. This thing does not touch your data, and I mean that. I'm talking, you can talk to people, they've ran for 6 hours. We're talking under a gigabyte or around a gigabyte, running 2,000 tasks. It is insane. I've used this, like, it is crazy. It does not touch your data. Not using special proxies or anything. I was running AYCD, I was running RAF, a mixture of providers. It does not touch. It's incredible, which is honestly, it can save you a lot of money just on proxies, which is why, almost for one reason, I'd recommend it. But yeah, so if CLI does not work when creating tasks, be sure to start all tasks here. And again, the bot does get a bit laggy. When you're running loads of tasks, you'll notice when clicking around, it just takes a while to load. And even when I click foot sites here, it does take a while to load. Now, obviously, it is because I have 1,600 tasks in there. But is there a way for that to load faster? I'm not sure. Definitely something to work on, though. I mean, we are talking about thousands of tasks, though. So maybe it's a bit extreme, especially when the bot is running. It is rather slow. But that's kind of understandable. But when the bot's not even running the tasks, if I go here and then go back on it, you would like it to be a bit quicker than that, but maybe that's something they can work on in the future. So going back to settings, this is where you can toggle the clock. You can see your log here. You then have data dome, so you would want to solve with 2Capture. You have the finish line capture, where you can select whichever capture you're using. Webhook, Slack webhook. And then delays. With delays on Footlocker, you don't actually change them. The bot has them set in there for you, so you don't have to worry about anything like that. The only thing you do have to worry about, if you scroll down a little bit, is here in the other section, which is threads. Now, I really wouldn't recommend touching requests, because honestly, I have no idea what it does. I've just been told not to touch it. However, threads is one you definitely do want to touch. So generally speaking, this isn't super accurate, but it's something to go off. Now, you want to see how many cores your computer has. You want to double that and then take away 1 or 2, depending on how many other applications you'll have open. So if you're running a sneakers bot or something like I was this morning, you know, I've got 12 threads, or, you know, I've got 6 cores, double that. So I wanted 2 spare. As again, I had Discord open, also probably Google Chrome. So I just wanted a bit of extra space. But if you're running more tasks, you might want to use more threads. I don't recommend running all your threads, but, you know, maybe -1 from the amount of threads you have. And that's also what you can see here, all the threads starting up. Here you have capture solvers. So I've my 2 capture key in there, which will be blurred. But you can connect it to AYCD because you only have access to anti-capture, 2capture, and captures IO. CapMonster is very popular within the EU, so if you have AYCD auto solve, you can chuck that in and then you can redirect that towards CapMonster, so you don't have to do it through the bot. Makes no difference, bit of a longer process, does not affect your tasks at all, which works really nicely. One big question you might have is it worth £1,600? And my answer to that is yes, a bit. But it might not be right for you. It's a weird bot because, as you can see, it has a mix of US sites and UK EU sites. So why is that? And I think that puts it, and I think that links it to its rentals. I think this is a bot made to be rented. You know, you buy this in the EU, you can rent this out on foot site drops in the US, and you can also rent this out on when Yeezy supply are dropping. And this is when it starts to make sense. This is a bot designed to be rented out. You know, it's not a bot that's just designed for getting shoes. You're meant to make money through renting this bot out, and that's one of the best ways to actually make money in the botting industry. And I always say this in all my videos, renting out bots is one of the best things you can do because the return on it is incredible. So yeah, if you're in the EU like me, you can rent it out, get a bit of extra money. And I think this is almost its purpose. It's almost designed to be rented out. It's because it's got such a good rental system in. It starts to make sense when you look at it in that perspective. But again, £1,600, would I advise this bot as your first bot? Probably not, because if you're not going to have it all the time, it doesn't actually support that many sites in one region. It's kind of in the middle. Again, as I said, perfect for renting out. But if you actually want to use this as your, you know, everyday running for restocks, running for sites, bots, you know, it's probably not that. It's the one that isn't going to be your main bot. It's going to be the one you'll be renting out and running every now and again. You can hit pairs on it, but in fact, you're starting to consider, is this a bot you even want to pay £1,600 for? Is it worth paying, you know, only £10? Because the rental is actually fairly cheap. You can find some good deals. We're talking £10, £15 per drop. Is it just worth paying that? And honestly, yeah, it's a great bot. Again, if you want to get your head around bots, this is a great bot because it has a beautiful UI. It's very easy to use. You have the Discord access. This isn't even a first bot to actually rent, which is a bit weird because I don't normally advise renting bots, but you can get some steals on this bot. It doesn't use much proxy data. Honestly, this is not a bad shout if you want to start botting footlocker. Now, botting footlocker is very hard. Talk to your cook group about it. But if you have a bit of botting experience, want to create your tasks in a nice simple GUI, run them in CLI, I think this is the answer. And I think that this is where this bot is. It's designed to be rented out. It's designed to be rented. And you're not meant to use it on every single site, if that makes sense. You're meant to only use it on a few. So should you own Polaris? Yes and no. Depends where you are and how much money you have. If you have loads of money, looking for a bot that can actually generate you some money, using it and then renting out, this is the perfect bot for you. This is in the middle between user, using it to get pairs, and using it to rent out. Now, thank you very much for watching this video. If you do want some proxies, I do have all my links in the description of my sponsors. And if you want a bot that you want to see reviewed, spoken about, which is my opinion on, be sure to comment that below because I always do try and contact the developers and owners and see what I can do. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I will see you in another video.